It once came to the attention of police in the Netherlands that girls who had come to Europe from Africa were disappearing from refugee reception centers.
Before we started, there were already 140 girls that had disappeared. We were quite sure that they were being trafficked for prostitution reasons. We quite soon found out that it was a criminal organization responsible for trafficking the girls from Nigeria into Europe and then spreading them out over Europe. We found out there was quite a big organization in Nigeria as well. They run a kind of travel agency that's bringing the girls into the plane. Once they were in the plane, the girls had to give the passports to the people that were members of the criminal organization. So the passports were being used again and again and again. And when the girls arrived in the Netherlands, they didn't have any papers and then asked for asylum.
This largest investigation in modern history came to be known as the Kulvis case. Law enforcement officers from the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Great Britain and the United States worked together on the investigation team. For the first time, Nigerian police also joined the investigation.
When the girls went to the asylum seeker centers, we gave them a mobile phone. And we wiretapped the phones. And then we found out that the criminal organization wanted to contact them. Then we laid our hands on the traffickers here in the Netherlands. And it was like a snowball, because once we had laid our hands on the traffickers, then we could find out who they worked with in other European countries, but also in Nigeria. And then we arrested them all, except for Italy. They had an action a bit later on. And it was really a successful action, because in one day we arrested over 50 people being members of this organization. And we also found out where the girls were, and we persuaded them to cooperate. But the girls, and that's something that puzzled us quite a lot. The girls, when they were being sent from Nigeria to Europe, they were often under the spell of Voodoo and Juju. And this was something completely new for us. They didn't want to talk because they were so afraid to break the Voodoo oath.
In the European world, a contract is when you sign a paper about a business you're going to do. But the Nigerian girls, they have a different type of contract they sign, and that is that of Voodoo.
Chicken, the blood and everything, you have to swallow the liver of the chicken. It's part of the process. Me coming to Europe, you don't have a choice, you don't have a say. Obligated, you have to do it.
They will pour the animal blood on top of their head, then they will remove some hair from here. There are things that are very ugly that they do. They give them to drink. They will tell them, if you don't pay me back the money that I used to sponsor you to get to Italy to become somebody, you will be followed by this juju.
At first we thought, Voodoo, what is this? It's all rubbish, and we don't believe it. But later on, we understood that it was really something in Africa.
The girls refused to testify, and for the first time ever, police in Europe had to bring a priest from Nigeria onto the case. But despite all the Nigerian priest's persuasion, and police assurances, only 4 of the 50 girls agreed to speak for the prosecution. But those 4 testimonies did help bring the case to court.
We arrested people in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in Nigeria. They were convicted up to 7 years of imprisonment. Maybe one of them was Dutch, but actually the rest was all with a Nigerian background. It's really, really profitable business. Think of every girl you bring into Europe that's paying your organization 50,000.
Prostitution is legal in the Netherlands, but only EU citizens can work in officially sanctioned brothels. They pay taxes and have a union to protect their rights. The girls held in thrall of Voodoo can't work in the red light district.
See what the true nature is of this form of prostitution, because none of the girls, they do it voluntarily. They're all being pushed one way or another. Until now, it's going on. Only the thing is that the girls don't come by Schiphol Airport, don't come into Europe by Schiphol Airport anymore, but they go directly over the Mediterranean Sea to Italy, and the trafficking is still continuing.
This huge villa belonged to, let's say, someone that was connected with Camorra. This was confiscated, given to this NGO as a safe house of trafficked girls, girls that were trafficked from Africa.
We usually work with Nigerian women and African women. They tell them over there, you can help your family. I can tell you, you go to Italy, you will do babysitting, you will do hairdressing, or maybe you will just clean the houses, and they convince them to go. And they will tell them, don't worry about the payment, about the travel. We will manage this, and when you are over there, you will give us back the money. This, when they go into Libya, they start to be exploited there, even if they don't know. They don't really know that they are prostituted.
We were so much girls. We were much in one room. The room is like a cage. They picked one girl close to me. And nobody suspected that it's prostitution. So the next day, they came for me. They said me. I said, no, I'm going to make her not to sleep with men. They beat me. They beat me. They beat me hard. Hard. They don't care. They forced me. I was raped by 5 men. 5. 5. 5.
The first things that you understand that, again, there was human trafficking, there were the slaver, and they had the same color. Because this time, people from Nigeria, they were enslaving their own nationality. Why Nigerian mafia became so prominent? First of all, if you have Nigerian mafia, it's because the Italian mafia led them to work in Italy. They were born as an anti-colonial situation. They were born in the university, this imprinting. If you believe that we are dealing with magicians, stupid people, no. They're very high level, they're very smart, they travel around the world. Right for this, they are very strong in prostitution, drugs dealing, but also deep web. Bitcoin, fraud with credit cards. Already 10 years ago, the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States, saw them as one of the second most powerful and dangerous organized crime group. This very ancient kind of mafia, ritual, juju rite, and they know what is the deep web, Bitcoin. Can you imagine? They are two incredible, distant and so close. In one moment you have the juju rite, something that is ancient. It's really old, deep, and after you have Bitcoin.
In this small town near Naples, the centre has preserved an air of decency. And it's impossible not to notice the large migrant population.
Yeah, I'm Italian. I'm Italian.
They built a kind of new city close to Castelvolturno during the 60s for tourist purpose. After it collapsed, it became rotten, it became a kind of ghost town. And this became the new house for all these migrants. When they started the first ships from Libya to get in Lampedusa, there were people with handwritten Castelvolturno. There was this migration without any kind of regulation. You know, it was like, okay, let them stay over there.
And when the city sleeps, organized crime wakes up.
Mafia Nigerian in Castelvolturno can do all that they want. And now Italian mafia, there is no more. There is Italian mafia Nigeriana, but they don't take this position. They do just drug and prostitution. They don't do racket like did mafia Italian. Because they know that here in Castelvolturno they can do drug and prostitution without problem, without control, and they do this.
The girls tend to meet clients in so-called contact houses, which are really no more than cheap bordellos.
There are houses like this with 3 rooms, and every room there is a girl, and the girl take to the cookie for the men. That's chicken, leg of chicken for €5 with beer, and sex for €5. That €10. Still the immigration poor can go in this connection house after a day of job and eat and make sex. Yeah, there is a girl, just one girl. A second, the third, 3.
You can stay a whole day, nothing, come back home. Like yesterday night, it was raining. When I come here, I will work. I will do the nanny for the money I will pay I don't understand the euro. So I'm used to naira. So I just thought it's like 30,000 naira. Then I agreed. After then, I take the oath and those stuff before I came. So when I get here, the story changed. I discovered 30,000 euro is not like 30,000. Because I swear, so I can't say I don't want to pay. They take me to swear, to take an oath. So I can't refuse because of the oath. If I don't pay, I will die. I don't know if it will really work or not, so I'm afraid. When I get money, I pay the money, then they will just go and remove the cost of the stuff. I'm gone.
I remember one girl, and she was okay until the day where she received a box. When she opened this box, she found something in it, and she got crazy immediately. Like she started having a very strong psychosis. So she had to be hospitalized. She was out of her mind, and she couldn't sleep anymore, eat. And she didn't want to say what was in the box, because probably it was some objects that reminded her of the oaths.
You know, it is more or less like psychological violence, because these people, they believe in this. When they come in here, they'll tell you, don't speak with the whites, with the Igbo, don't speak with the police, don't even speak with a reverend sister. Do you understand now? Because obviously the girls, they have no idea that when they come here, the state will help you to liberate you.
When I came to Europe, I can't do it. So I just told the person that I can't do prostitution to pay you. But it's your choice if you want to do it. But for me, I can't. So I decided to, talk to the UN protection. I asked for protection. No, I'm not afraid. Because why I'm not afraid? Because I believe in God. It's only God that can, pour a curse on you that will affect you. No man, no woman have the right to give you a curse. Because for me, I don't believe on the curse. I believe the only thing I'm afraid of is my family in Africa.
Victims use these kinds of statements in which they say, I don't believe in voodoo. So our research shows that these words are not taken to be literal. With this statement, they don't really say that they don't acknowledge the existence of spirits, but they say that they don't associate with these kind of spirits. And if you don't know the meaning of these words, then that can create like a misunderstanding between aid workers or police enforcement and victims.
Most of the time, when you are a white person and you ask a Nigerian about voodoo, they say no. No, I don't believe that. Because they know that we don't have that here. But when you show them that you know about voodoo and how it works and that you take it seriously, then most of the time they say, yes, I also took the voodoo oath. Huh? It's like a contract. And yes, it bothers me. They haunt me in my dreams sometimes. It really depends on what detectives are working on the case. Some say, yeah, we do take it seriously, but some also just call it that voodoo bullshit, and it's just, they just want to get a permit here, they make stories, blah, blah, blah.
The biggest problem today is that most of the trade is conducted online. It's rare to find anywhere in the world where black market commodities are not offered at the lowest possible price.
Or hidden, like in hidden Telegram groups or direct messages on Insta or Snapchat. So it's hard to pick it up for us, but also for police, I think.
This market, like any other, is very mobile and can adapt quickly. For example, about 16,000 girls from Nigeria went to Russia with a fan ID for the 2018 World Cup. A third of them never left, and occasionally appear in criminal reports.
Rituals are always changing, for instance. Or depending on where and by whom it was done. For instance, my colleague treated the case where the woman was affected by jujus, but then her father was a juju man himself, and he helped her to get rid of the bad juju. And there was a work made between clinician and the father of the woman in order to help this girl to come over the problem. They do magic, but they do at the same time blackmailing and violence and everything.
They are scared of Madame and all the system because they threaten their family in Nigeria. They are all connected from Nigeria to Italy. They have people. So the Madame may say she doesn't want to prostitute, she's not paying me back. You need to threaten the family over there, and then it can kill the family over there. They can't do anything.
Well, I think Europe doesn't really care about this group. That's the hard truth, I think. As long as normal people don't see it, there's no problem.
These people are the kind of the ghosts of the society. Nobody really cares about them because you only see the black women on the street, but you don't realize that maybe your husband is going with them. And maybe go with somebody that is really a ghost to society, maybe allows them to do really everything they want with them. Because they know that if they disappear, nobody cares. Nobody will know where they go or not.
There should be a law from the government against the clients. Because I believe that if there are no clients, there will be no goods. So if the clients could be punished, if they see someone who stops on the road to pick a girl, that you know quite well that she's not a prostitute because these are forced slave girls. My request always is, please don't be afraid to denounce or to report to the police or to organizations anybody who is making use of you as a girl. If you come in here and you discover that they are using you for sex business, please don't hesitate to report yourself. You will be helped. You will not be repatriated back to Nigeria.
It's not really easy like that. If possible, they will take me back to camp, and I don't want to go back to camp. I don't want to go back and stay. I've already lived there, so I need to make something. Going back to do what? I can't just go back and stay idle and say my family should be taking care of me. It's not possible. So.
The comeback girls are often not welcome. After all, they went away to make money, but returned with nothing. Families often worry that the returned girls will attract more trouble. That's why the girls try hard to stay here.
And there is a lot of trafficking from Ivory Coast. They come here, they stay a few days, and they are already organized to go to France. So they are trafficked. This time it's a new thing for us because usually the Nigerian trafficking stops here.
150 arrests were made as part of the Kulvis case, the biggest ever.
The case still isn't closed. So, yeah, we're still after some of the big fish. We want to execute some of the sentences, and some of the perpetrators still have to stand trial.
Traffickers have been convicted in the Netherlands, France, Ireland, Portugal, Greece, Italy and Germany. But logistics, transit points and countries involved in this underworld business constantly change.